How's it going, runners? Naturally, right before I finish doing this series with 2 shells left, Bungie goes ahead and does a big video revealing all the abilities and detailing all the runners just off their own. Now, is that getting in the way of what I was going to do? Maybe a little bit. But it does give me actual confirmation of the abilities for the last 3 characters, which we were working off of leaks for before. So I want to go ahead and kind of cover the developer insight, but I don't want to go ahead and do like a really big, long, detailed breakdown frame by frame because I don't think it actually needs that. I do want to go ahead and summarize the significant changes or points of interest from the developer insight as this sort of update episode to the series. Now, I do recommend you check out the original video if you have any interest at all in Bungie's commentary on the topic of the runners, but the vast majority of the information that is in the rest of this series before now is accurate. There are a couple of things for Ox that have been changed, and then the runners themselves have small tweaks that they don't really talk about because the base of the abilities are about the same. And that's the kind of stuff I want to touch on when we eventually get to 1.0 and do a full 1.0 version of the series. As a TLDR, things that you need to know that are revealed in this VIDOC, is what I'm going to call it basically, is that the runner names have all been changed. The abilities for Thief, the Ox, Frame, who is now Triage, were officially revealed, and Rook got his abilities revealed as well. There was a little bit about the cores and implants, but not really anything to cover in my opinion. I am going to tell you now that Thief and Rook, as well as cores and implants, have videos coming up for them to be discussed on their own. So I'm not going to be touching really on the reveals for them now because they already have scheduled videos on the channel. In that case, what I do want to talk about is, first off, the update to all the runner names. They have all been changed from Locust, Blackbird, Void, Glitch, and Ox. They are now Destroyer, Recon, Assassin, Vandal, and Triage. Thief's name was always Thief. There was a couple different things I've seen leaked about what it was internally, but as far as publicly showing, Thief has always been her name, so I was going to do Thief as her video before. So to me, she is still Thief. It's unchanged. And Rook is pretty much the same as we heard going into some of the tests that Bungie have talked about, and then in the earlier VIDOC as well. So they are going to be having their own videos talk about them, but not really anything significant about their changes because we haven't talked about them officially on our channel yet. Next up, we do have actual confirmed stuff for Triage, who is Ox. So as sort of an update to the last video we did, these are all Ox changes or clarifications. We do have footage of his abilities now, so they will be shown kind of in the background as I'm talking. But if you've seen the leak coverage I did prior, this is the changes to that. So the Overcharge passive now improves all weapon performance once it's activated, and battery weapons, while active, will now EMP enemies when you break their shields. The Heal Drone has multiple uses that you can activate on yourself or allies, and it does heal over time. And then Shareware.exe, which is one of the passives that Triage has, we thought it was going to share stims and let you share stims with people. That's what the leak was. Now it is revealed that you get both stims shared and regular healing items, so you can heal allies passively with the bot and share your med kits or your shield charges with them, it looks like. This means not only are you doubling the value or potentially tripling if you have multiple charges of the drone, I think you're going to be able to send one drone to each teammate if you don't want one on you and one on the teammate to triple the value of all your meds you're going to use. This is going to be much bigger, I think, for the character compared to what we thought their power level was going to be from the leaks. I think now this has put them in the argument of being meta, or going to be meta, as the game comes out. Obviously, subject to change. We don't know. We haven't seen it all. But the fact that you can turn one heal into 3 heals is ridiculous in terms of the economy of like your inventory size. Why would you pop a heal on yourself if you can drop it for your teammate and he can heal all 3 of you at the same time for the same resource? It's very, very strong. I think it's going to be a very effective early game and late game, which is basically what I was saying in the last video. It's just much stronger in the late game now than I thought it was going to be. So that's pretty much the only things that have changed from this Vidoc. Everything else that we've talked about has stayed relatively consistent. And then the things that we haven't talked about, we haven't talked about yet. So this is going to be considered, new footage for the Thief, the cores, the implants, and Rook. So definitely look out for that video coming up soon. We're going to be doing Thief next. I do have a Destiny video coming out first. After this is much more off the cuff, so I'm sorry it's not super scripted. I do have some notes, but it just ended up not being a bunch of stuff that I needed to really script out or talk super in detailed about. I will see you all again very, very soon, and thank you for joining me today.